Long, long ago, in a little town, there were 5 boys who were really good friends. Every afternoon, they would go to the forest and play. Run, climb trees, and bathe in the river with great joy. They were really close and liked to stay outdoors playing with the animals and enjoying the warmth of the sun. However, one afternoon, the children went far away and came upon a huge castle surrounded by big walls. Being curious, they climbed up the walls and got into the garden of the castle. Later, and after playing there for several hours, they heard a deep voice which came from inside the castle.
What are you doing in my castle? Get out of here!
The 5 children were so scared that they froze. They looked everywhere, without knowing where the voice came from. Suddenly, a big giant with yellow eyes appeared. Without thinking twice, the boys ran away at full speed and got lost. To ensure that no other intruder entered the castle, the giant reinforced the walls, hanging plants filled with thorns and placing thick chains that barely allowed to look inside. In addition, at the front door, the selfish and grumpy giant hung up a huge sign that read, "Get out." Despite all the measures the giant had taken, the children did not give up. Every morning, they would sneak up to the surroundings of the castle to watch the giant. They stayed there for a long time, until they returned home sadly.
Qué aburrido.
Sometime later, winter arrived, and so the snow covered the castle, giving it a dark and ugly appearance. Consequently, the giant sat on his armchair waiting for spring to return. Some months later, the winter said goodbye, giving way to spring. The forest enjoyed a beautiful bright green again. Animals left their burrows to stay outdoors. Joy was back. However, this did not take place at the giant's castle, where snow was still there, and trees barely had green leaves.
What a pity!
The giant cried out.
Everybody's enjoying spring but me. My garden is empty and sad now.
He added. Sorrowful by his fate, the giant lay down on his bed. He would have remained there forever if it had not been for the fact that one day he heard the singing of a bird on the window. Astonished and unbelieving, the giant looked out and smiled. His garden had regained its joy. Now, not only did trees have beautiful green leaves, but also flowers grew on. In addition to his surprise, the children were playing and running from one side to the other.
How could I be so selfish?
He wondered.
Children have brought me spring, and now I am happier.
The giant cried out while going downstairs and into the garden. Once there, he saw that every child was having fun climbing up the trees. All but for one, who could not climb because he was the youngest one. Feeling sorry for that child, the selfish giant decided to help him climb the tree. The giant took out all the plants filled with thorns and the chains that were hanging on the walls. However, when the children saw him, they were frightened. They thought the giant was there to kick them out and quickly left the place. The youngest boy was trapped on the tree without being able to descend. To his surprise, flowers withered and snow started to fall down again. The giant asked the boy not to cry. He told the boy that he could stay and play in the garden for as long as he wanted. Then, The other children, who were hidden on the other side of the wall, understood that the giant was not evil, and they could finally play in the garden without being kicked out. From then on, the children went to the giant's castle every year when spring arrived, bringing joy and filling his garden with flowers.